Hello, everybody. Welcome to Browns and Beyond, your home for Cleveland Browns content, NFL content, and other sports content. If you're enjoying the show, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you stay locked in with all the latest sports content. And most importantly, drop us a comment. We want to hear your thoughts. All right, boys, here we are. It's the Thursday after the conference weekend there. Boy, we had some games here, boys, and it was a little bit of a snowball in that Denver game. And we also had a good matchup in the Seattle and the Rams game as well. Dave, what was your thoughts on championship weekend there?
Well, as I said to my dad, I was watching the game with him. If we're going to be locked in to watch anything, at least we're locked in to watch football, and we're locked in to watch some good football games, Brent. So I enjoyed both games, especially the last game, even though it didn't quite turn out as I planned it to. But, at least we got two really good competitive football games, including the last one, which I thought was really exciting. And if you're going to be locked in the house, at least you've got some good football to watch, right, Steve?
Exactly, guys. I want to say at least both games were competitive and very close, and that's what you want. You don't want to blow out or something boring. They're all both filled with excitement. That second game was a little more exciting. The first game was, as we know, a lot of snow, but it was fun, guys. It was fun watching those games. Yeah, well said there. We will get right into the first topic, and that is the Cleveland Browns hiring of Todd Monken. What a surprise that was. And we'll get into the overall hiring process of the Cleveland Browns and how all that went down. Jim Schwartz, we kind of think he might have let him on there a little bit. Mr. Schwartz, they kind of thought, hey, we're giving you the job. Oh, by the way, not so much. Sorry, buddy. So anyways, we'll get right into it. Mr. Dave Greenshield. Dave, what was your thoughts on the Todd Monken hiring?
Well, just real briefly, Monken returns to Cleveland. This is his second stint, Brent. He was the offensive coordinator in the doomed 2019 season, the Freddie disaster season, as I call it, Larry the Cable Guy. Just overall, he's a strong offensive mind. He's coached a really good college offense at Georgia in their national title run, and then coached those good Baltimore offenses in 2024 with Henry and Lamar when they had a really good year. Both had really good years, and then Lamar's MVP year of 23. But it's interesting, Brent. This is his first NFL head coach position in 11 years. To me, this is the problem. And I'm not the only one with a problem here, Brent. You mentioned it. I just want to touch on it real briefly. Of course, I'm pointing to defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz, who, according to Yahoo Sports, Schwartz has reportedly had enough, leaving the building in a huff on Wednesday while telling associates that he wouldn't be coming back to Cleveland. Well, that's not a good sign, Brent. I can understand the frustration. Schwartz is easily the best hire the Browns have made in a while. He's consistently churning out elite defenses without any help from the other side of the ball. Guys, just a few thoughts here. Schwartz was my third choice. Flores, who's going to stay in Minnesota as the D coordinator, was my number one. And then Joe Brady, who, by the way, Steve, got that Bills job as head coach, by the way, buddy.
That's right. I knew you were going to bring that up. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, but do you guys have a brief thought on the Schwartz thing and him returning or canceling him returning? Brent, go ahead.
I'm going to break this down. I told Steve about it. I heard the most perfect analysis of this yesterday by Mr. Joe Thomas, who's a Pro Football Hall of Famer. Of course, he said it best. He said, and my God, is he smart? He goes, you can have all the CEO coaches all you want, a Schwartz, a Harbaugh. He goes, they can get you above the floor, but they can't always take you all the way, which we know Harbaugh did get him that Super Bowl. I'm aware of that. But let's be honest, Tomlin and Harbaugh, they're not winning Super Bowls left and right. They're just not. They both of them, I believe, just have the one. But most of the time, especially in this, he said the best success you can have is when the coach is intimate, or he works hand in hand with their quarterback, and he kind of sets the tone. And he goes, that's where the McVays and the Andy Reids, he said, those guys are the ones that have sustainable long-term success. Because let's be honest, the problem with the Schwartz hire would have been then you got to go out and get a defensive coordinator and you got to get an offensive coordinator. You got a lot of things to fill with the Schwartz hire. Now, the problem with the thing was they led Schwartz on. They made it look like, oh, Jim, we want you. We're going to keep you. And but in my mind, they had to replace. I told Steve Retzer, you had to get a better version of Kevin Stefanski. You had to do that. And I believe they have done that. They just won about it the worst possible way. They were terrible with communication. Don't you agree, Steve?
Yeah, and I think they wanted to hire an offensive-minded coach, or better version. Brent, you said it, better version than Stefanski, and it looks like they've done that. But it definitely wasn't fair to lead Schwartz on like that. And you're right, Brent. I mean, now you got to get a whole nother. They do want to retain him as defensive coordinator, and it's not looking so good in that matter. But it's just shouldn't have led Schwartz on like that, because fans loved him, the players love him. Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward would stick up forward. There's no doubt about it, guys. He produced. He actually did things in the Cleveland organization. So I truly believe that he thought he was getting that job. And if you have 2 interviews, that's not just one. That's showing interest. I know they were doing their due diligence and doing their homework and things, but I think Schwartz was disappointed, and he has reason for that.
Yeah, I don't blame Schwartz at all. It just he got left up to dry. But I think they made the right move. Now they made the right move. But go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
Well, just overall, the Monken hire doesn't really knock my socks off here, Brent. Yeah, I mean, the bottom line, he's a solid offensive mind, but he doesn't have he had the benefit of coaching one of the best college programs in Georgia and one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in Lamar. There's no Lamar here. To me, this is a last resort hire. The Browns, to a great degree, got the one guy that was willing to take the job, in my view. This is clearly shown by the number of candidates that passed on this job, Brent. We got into this in the last cast. McDaniels of the world, the Yurginskis all these coaches that were passing on this job.
Guys, I mean, we also think, me and Brent talked about it, that this was a Jimmy hire more so than an Andrew Berry. Nate Shieldhouse was out. It's almost like they went and took a vacation. Let's go to LA. And then Jimmy's still going to override. And Monken's got the experience, though. Yes, first time NFL head coach. It had 37 years of coaching experience from college to NFL.
Look. Let me actually kind of be blunt and just kind of rubber stamp this as much as I can. The reason why Monken is the guy. Now, I wanted to go the young route. I did, and I still think that. But I'm not upset about the Monken thing, because he brings something that Dave didn't mention yet. And that is that his personality. He is a no-nonsense guy. He will make you accountable. And what did the Browns fail at on the offensive side? Kevin Stefanski had favorites. He did not make football accountable, and everybody ran roughshod over Stefanski. Did they not, Steve?
I agree with you, Brent, 100%. And Monken, he's still considered that old-style coach. Yes, but he adapts to the young guys of the game too. That's what makes him strong.
Yeah,
great with the offensive play calling. I mean, even Jimmy Haslam. He said Monken's an outstanding leader. He has a clear vision. He can lead the team as a strong communicator, and then he values trust with his players, but also accountability. And accountability is a big thing Stefanski did not, in my opinion.
Well, the bottom line is you had all of this in your room if you wanted it. You had the adult in your room. It was called Jim Schwartz. I mean, the bottom line is that he is a leader of men. He fits a lot of what Steve talked about. He's a leader of men. The players love him. He's turned water into wine. He's given you a really good defense. And guess what? He's done something Monken has never done before, which has been a coach in this league. So that's me. I mean, please tell me how he doesn't check more boxes than.
Yeah, but does. Yeah, but you're not getting it.
Ben's biggest thing, Abe, was who's if he has to watch over everything, the offense, the special teams, situational. Can he hire the right guy to do his job that he's so great at, defensive coordinator? That's what Brent was trying to say. Dan, he's got to get an OC. Feeling there. Well, you got to get a couple jobs.
Well, guess what? Monken's going to get it. He's going to have to go find a defensive coordinator. So, I mean, because Jim Schwartz is on the last train out of town now, Brent.
Yeah, but so I look at this different than Dave does. That's okay. We're allowed to disagree. Third, well, the bottom line is where's the problems with the Cleveland Browns? It's offense. You had to get your offensive genius or your offense. The defense, even without Schwartz, it'll probably be okay. I mean, they're good enough. I mean, they're middle of the pack, good enough. I mean, so in my mind, you had to if you do the Schwartz thing, which I love the Schwartz thing, if Schwartz can bring an offensive mind, and it said, go ahead.
I'd love to keep Schwartz. I wish there was a way, we're sorry we misled you. Would you consider it, exam Myles Garrett, get Denzel Ward, get the big time guys. Hey, we want you. Jimmy's apologizing. Hey, let Jimmy come out. Hey, Jim, we want you back. We want you here. We're sorry we misled you. And maybe even give him some kind of bonus or, incentives. Don't let him go take the example, the 49ers job. There's word on the street he could get that 49ers job. So let me say the year, man, like he's not out yet. It's close, but he's not out yet. What can we do?
Yeah. Yeah, let me state this, guys.
Let Monken say I want him as my defensive coordinator too. Have Monken say it himself. Have Jimmy, right, Brent?
So, yeah, let me just kind of bring this to the audience's attention. He was interviewed, Jim Schwartz, by Mr. Haslam, and they asked him, Jim, if we hire you, what is your plan on offense? And guess what? He didn't have a good plan. Report said he had a bad plan. He didn't have his Josh McDaniel in the right back pocket. He didn't have that. So, by the way, that was another factor why Schwartz didn't get the gig. And also, too, I think the Browns were smart enough to say, guess what? Leader of men, yeah, you do check that box, but we need an offensive mind. And Monken was like they weren't going to be able to get Monken to be their OC. He wouldn't do that, but he would take the HC. So in my mind, they went where the flaw was, and how do I say this? They tried to Band-Aid their situation.
Yeah, I don't think Monken would have came as an offensive coordinator. A Giants job, which coordinator for the Giants, he would have took that. This is kind of like a fight for a head coach position. I'll do it if I can be the head coach.
I give a last thought on this. Remember, we went down this road with Stefanski before to a certain extent, where you hired an offensive-minded guy and we asked him to call plays. Are we saying that Monken is going to come in here and call plays? Because even though he's an offensive mind, remember that can present an issue too. Because usually, even if you're an offensive-minded guy, you want to have an OC underneath.
I think if you look at it,
we've been down that road before. We have.
Get it, but here's what I would say. I think what Steve and I were talking about a little bit ago about the old style of coaching, I just feel like the Browns, Steve Retzer said it in past years, the Browns were a freaking country club, weren't they, Steve? Everybody's relaxed and drinking Pinos and I just think it's more of a mentality. I'm not worried about the coaching situation as far as how they're going to line that up. Go ahead.
You think Monken's a hard ass? I'll close with this final thought, and I know we got to go, Steve. I really just don't think this is the type of hire that moves the needle. I just don't. I think he was the last man on a totem pole because you had a lot of people that passed on this job, didn't want this job. It's the Browns. Time will tell.
And I would say this: the reason why it kind of shook out the way it did is because the Browns are a disaster. Their owner, sorry, Sean, I actually like Jimmy until this. I am starting.
You like Jimmy Haslam?
Well, now I'm starting to act like you, Dave. I am not trusting this guy. Like he is a lot like Jerry Jones. Oh my God! Like he really. Steve, remember what we said?
You Brent or Dave, you got to hear this. So, Jimmy Haslam, it's like the handcuffs have come off ever since Paul DePodesta moved on to the Colorado Rockies job. Haslam's a free man. He loves the power and the control, and he wants it, and he's going to have the final say, and the cuffs are off, so now he's really going to do what he wants.
Well, Steve, time to fire off another email, buddy.
I know you. Oh, I'll be sending him emails because I got to do what I want to, and that's send emails because he says he listens, And I'm sure it's to fans.
I'm sure it'll be well written by his secretary, Steve. Look forward to that one, buddy.
Yeah. Maybe D, his wife, will read it. Yeah.
Steve, give us your thoughts on the hiring.
Well, guys, as we know, he's the 19th full-time coach, 59 years old. As we know, he's with the Ravens for the 3 years. He did some good things, obviously, with Lamar. Did some good things with top running back Derrick Henry. We know that he did well in Georgia. Like, they had the second most points scored in that FSB span there. When he was in the second sem with the Browns in 2019. I love how Dave calls him Larry the Cable Guy. He was the OC, but they're trying to say that Kitchens tried to override him or the play calling. That they were 6-10 at a bad year. But I will say this: Nick Chubb was second in the NFL that year in rushing, so he's done some good things. Even before that, he was the Buccaneers offensive coordinator. They were top in the leagues, guys, in passing yards. So he's done good things, and I'm just surprised. Hey, this is your first year as hired as a head coach in the NFL. So
Here's a nobody else wanted.
right, you're almost 60 years old, Dave. I hear you there. You know what I mean? I mean that's getting up there.
Let me bring this to. I have to mention this. So Retzer and I were talking. Everybody knows I got the country background, Kentucky, and we all know the jokes. But anyways, told Steve this is a hillbilly to hillbilly kind of thing. That's why Monken got the tone. It's a hillbilly, like, hey, I saw you down yonder, like one of those things. That's why, as Dave would see, there's simpatico. They saw eye to eye. That's why he got the job. Exactly. But some folks, they always say that I burn my couch in my backyard. Sometimes, but anyways, and I have my hillbilly, fridge, right, Dave?
Fred, that's where you keep that cold beer, Brent. We know that.
So, they can make fun of him other way. That's okay. All I'm saying is this. Bottom line, the hillbillies got together and they got it done. What do you think, Steve?
I like it. And this too, guys. You don't want to hear this. Some people might say, oh, well, look, you should have kept Stefanski. We don't want to hear these lines right now that I'm going to state. Oh, look, we should have kept Stefanski. Look, you made the wrong hire. Maybe he was being careful. He did the careful hire as well. Don't take the chance on a young guy like Shieldhouse or Udinski. Take a proven guy. Yes, he hasn't been a proven head coach, but he's been a proven offensive coordinator at the college and NFL level, guys. So I think, yeah, he had to be top choice. And notice how he did it so quietly. I love it. Hey, Udinski's the favorite. And then, oh, no, Shieldhouse is now the favorite. And then guess who was quietly in the background? Guys, we didn't even mention him as much in the last podcast. I had a few things to say about him. He was quietly staying in the background. Todd Monken. The Browns and Jimmy Haslam, they like to outfool people too. Remember, they're tricksters. They like to outfool you. So Monken, he was in the race all along, guys, as we've seen, because he got the job.
I thought he was going to take the OC job with his old buddy Harbaugh with the Giants. I thought that was going to be a deal. I thought he was going to the G-Man and be the offensive coordinator. So he got on his best, Jason Aldean shirt and impressed Jimmy. And they had that country talk together. Maybe they went to a tractor pull or whatever, right, Brett? I don't know.
Shared a few stories about an oil rig, maybe,
how they do it East Canton way, I guess.
Was he ranking? That's the guy. I mean, do you see Todd Monken wanted to write an essay, or what was the other?
No,
you're right though. He check mark the personality box, right, Brent?
This was personality test has been a pass. This is country boys can survive. That's what this is. Jenny locked eyes, and they went out and they chewed beech nut and they spit beech nut, and that was it. And they went out in the back garden and shot the shotgun. They shot some bursts and some.
Apparently, these make for good times on a weekend in East Canton. You're hearing it here live, folks. Red Sea.
Sorry to my Canton audience. I apologize, but this is kind of the norm now. I got to deal with it. Anyways, Steve, any more final thoughts on the hiring?
Yeah, my final thoughts, Brent. I do think he'll be better with the offense than Kevin Stefanski was. I have mixed feelings on the overall hire. I do want to give him a chance, but I hope he hires a good staff to help him out. It will be a clean slate. There's a lot of work to do, but hey, guys, at least we've named our head coach. I mean, the search is over. It felt like ongoing forever. Like, are we ever going to make the announcement? I mean,
Yeah.
be the last team, and we're not quite that. So at least we're going to have a clean slate and a fresh start soon, guys.
All right. Well said, Steve. We will get to our next topic here, and that is the championship round. This past week, it was the first matchup was the New England Patriots, and they go against the Denver Broncos and Jarrett Stidham, the backup there. And it was what a game there. And Mr. Steve Retzer, kind of take us into that matchup. What was your thoughts on that Patriots and Broncos matchup?
Well, guys, in a game that felt more like an old school defensive slugfest than a modern NFL track meet, the New England Patriots beat the Denver Broncos 10-7 in the AFC Championship game last Sunday. The victory punches New England's ticket to the Super Bowl, where they will face the Seattle Seahawks. Guys, the contest was defined by two things: smothering defense and brutal weather. Guys, you could see the snow on your TV screen. My goodness, it was snowing like crazy as the game went on. A second half snowstorm at Empower Field there at Mile High. It turned it into like a frozen tundra battle, guys. Really, both passing attacks were largely ineffective on both sides, guys. No one could pass the ball, right? I mean,
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it did seem to make the passing games difficult. I really felt the running games, were at a premium, especially in the second half. And I think that's where the Patriots started to shine. Was May really making some plays with his legs in this one, Steve? I know you're probably going to get into that.
absolutely. That's for sure. Well, Jarrett Stidham, the backup with Broncos starter Bo Nix sidelined by his ankle injury. The backup, he started well. He hit Marvin Mims Jr. for 52 yards to set up a Cortland Sutton touchdown. However, a catastrophic backward pass fumble by Stidham in the second quarter gifted New England the ball at the 12-yard line, leading to their only touchdown. Like we just said, or how you just mentioned, Dave, Drake May and his legs. A sophomore quarterback, May, he struggled through the air. He was just 10-21, guys, for 86 yards. But he was the game's most dangerous runner, like David just mentioned. He led the Patriots with 65 yards and scored their lone touchdown on a 6-yard scramble. I mean, this guy, he's got some wheels, man. I mean, he can really fly. I remember, Dave, we talked about this last season. He led many games in rushing over guys like, Vermondre Stevenson. He had 71 yards, so a few more yards than Drake May in this one, but he only averaged 2.8 yards per carry. So Denver did a good job against him, really.
Well, Steve, that pass rush was getting after him, though. That Denver pass rush was pretty relentless, and there were times he had to break from the pocket and get yards, and they were huge yards in this game. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think if Bo Nix plays, I think they beat the Patriots. I just do.
Yeah, we can ask you guys. I think the Patriots still win, but same thing. It's a 3-point game. Do you think that, Dave? Do you think that eats them, especially at home?
Well, no, I'm going to take it to a different level. I actually think that Denver may have lost this game, maybe even more than New England won this game. I actually think there was a path here for Denver to win this game, even with Stidham in there.
Oh, sure, for sure. So that's my point. Just imagine if Nix was in it, they really win.
And Nix was on fire. I got to give you that. Ball placement, everything. Man, he was playing really good football.
I'll just tell you, it's the perfect storm for the Pats this year. Everything's going their way. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I will say this. Yeah, Nix was playing really well, but he can be inconsistent at times. But you got to give this Patriots defense credit, Steve. They're playing really well right now.
Oh, some defense. But yeah, guys, Drake May was sacked 5 times in the game, but that wasn't enough for the Broncos. The block turned around Denver, trailing by 3 points in the fourth quarter. Denver kicker Will Lutz attempted a 45-yard field goal to tie. And speaking of defense, Patriots defensive tackle Leonard Taylor III. Guys, he's actually a practice squad elevated guy. He got a hand on the ball, keeping it wide and preserving the lead. Then, of course, there was the dagger. Like you just said, this New England defense, speaking of cornerback Christian Gonzalez sealed the game with an interception of Stidham with just over 2 minutes left, guys. The Broncos, they'll have to just look back on missed opportunities. They dominated field position early, but failed to capitalize, notably passing on a chip shot. You remember that? The field for a fail in one attempt. I'm sure Sean Payton would like to take that back and kick that field goal, right, Dave?
Yeah, I was hoping we were going to get thoughts on that. I said it at the time. I was watching the game here. I mean, if they make it 10-0 there, it would have been huge. By the way, a really good defensive play on the 3rd and 6 to make it a 4th down situation. It also wasn't necessarily the best play call in the world. Denver's lack of running game also showed up in this one. I bet they wish they had J.K. Dobbins in this game because they could have used some running game. But
yeah, they used Hopkins because R.J. Harvey, the rookie, didn't have a lot of yards rushing. He wasn't effective. Dobbins would have been good if he was available, Dave, no doubt.
I just bottom line, I think he should have kicked the field goal there. Brent, is that your opinion?
Yeah, Brent, what do you think?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was shocked when they didn't do that. I'm like, what the, like, that was a no-brainer. And I've heard, I don't know, I don't remember Sean Payton getting that aggressive in the past. I don't know why I thought he was Brandon Staley out there for a minute. I was like, oh my God, who is this guy? Like, kicked a field goal. What is going on?
Well, I mean, he said he'd be confident in Jarrett Stidham as if it was Bo Nix. I mean, he said it on the stand, so he played as if he had his starter out there.
I got to make this comment because I don't know if you guys touched on this yet, but I heard from Sal Pelotonio, that guy on ESPN, that everybody and their brother, I don't even know, Dave even probably knew this, and Dave's Mr. Football, they knew that this big storm was coming after halftime. It wasn't like a secret. It was, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, get these points, because in the second half, it's going to be snowing more than Mother Teresa. I mean, like, what are we doing? Am I wrong, guys?
Yeah, you're right, Brent. They should have been thinking about that. You got 2 really good defenses. I guess that's my only answer for that. But yeah, get some points on the board while you got a shot, because you're right. They knew what the weather was going to be like.
Did you know that, Dave? Dave, did you?
No, I had heard that after the game. I mean, the bottom line, I mean, Peyton thought that their offense was moving the ball well at that time. Again, I thought the play call could have been a little bit different as well. But bottom line, points are at a premium, and 10-0, 2-possession game, even in the first half, in a game like that is huge. And, sometimes the analytics or whatever with the 4th downs get in their way, and game script has to trump all. If you're in a defensive game, it's not like it's a 41-38 game. You're in a defensive game, take the 3 points, take the 2-score lead. I mean, I think it's common sense, but that's why Sean Payton's paid the big bucks, right, Steve?
Exactly, guys. And I just felt like all of Mike Vrabel's players, they're a hot team right now, guys. He has them doing it. Like, they're in right position on the field, not all the time, but most of the time. They're doing what Vrabel wants. They're playing together. I mean, Vrabel has them all confident. You know what I mean? That they want to play for him. They're playing together. I mean, they are getting an easier path. There's no doubt about it. But they're also performing and playing great together. Like it is said that under first-year coach Mike Vrabel, they proved they could win ugly. I mean, their defense guys only allowed 32 yards of offense in the entire second half. I know it was like a snow fest, but, proving that while Drake made the face of the franchise, the defense is their backbone still, guys. They can depend on this defense, right, Dave?
I agree with you. I think that this 3-4 scheme that Vrabel's running, that he played in when he was in New England, they always seem to find linebackers who can play. They always seem to find New England always also seems to find a really good shutdown cover corner, all the way back to Ty Law, to Asante Samuel. Stephon Gilmore was big on that last Super Bowl run that they had on their last Super Bowl championship teams. And now they find a guy like Christian Gonzalez who makes the game-winning interception at the end of the game.
Yeah, Gonzalez, he's been injured lately too, so thank goodness he was okay for this one.
So yeah, I think this defense has been highly underrated this year. It's the reason they're in the Super Bowl. The turnovers they were able to force in the previous couple games. Obviously, their one touchdown in this game, Steve, was off of a turnover. So
Exactly. So the defense he's making it work. So Mike Vrabel, he got it done on the road, injured quarterback or not. And I'm going to say this, guys. You can tell me if I'm wrong. He outcoached Sean Payton. And I know Sean Payton is one of the greats. There's no doubt about it. Do you guys agree or not? Mike Vrabel outcoached him.
I agree, Steve. I think Vrabel understood the conditions, understood, what his team needed to do. I would also give an assist again to Josh McDaniels, who I think has done a great job with Drake May in this offense in knowing what it can and can't do over the course of the season. And I think McDaniels figured that out as this game moved along a lot better than Sean Payton did. That's what I will also say.
Yep. I mean, that was an easy task to do. He's got his team believing they can win. Guys, in closing, I just want to say I'm ready for the Super Bowl. Let's go Patriots. Let's let this dynasty begin.
Oh my God.
Know who I want, boys.
Well, hey, Brett, last thought. Robert Kraft, the owner, not only knows massage parlors, but knows football coaches. He hires Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick, who should be in the Hall of Fame. We won't get into that. But and then now here's Mike Vrabel. He had the miss on the last coach, but he got rid of him fairly quickly, and now he's off the point of the
Yeah. Well, I do think Robert Kraft is at the top of his game. I put him up there with one of the better owners. I actually like him better than the Rooneys, to be honest. I feel like the Steelers nostalgia is more in the past. They're more of a 70s team. I know they got a couple Super Bowls with Cowher and Tomlin, but I think that I do think that Robert Kraft's got a good eye of talent and I think that they got a good organization and Mike Vrabel's a great coach. Go ahead.
By the way, Brett, talent in all kinds of places too. We won't get into it.
Yeah, even if they're
Best owners in the business. I mean, let's face it. Kraft is. I mean, he.
By the way, don't talk about Robert Kraft's misdoings at a Tom Brady roast. Tom might have some words for you.
You guys do remember that, right? Where he
yelled at Jeff Ross. Never yelled at Jeff Ross.
That's right.
Anyways, we will get to Mr. Dave Greenshield. Dave, this was, I was rooting for you because I had your team, and oh my God, I'm disappointed. And now we're going to talk how good Sam Darnold is. Rams and the Seahawks get us into the matchup.
Yeah, Brent, the Seattle Seahawks, they're heading to the Super Bowl following a thrilling and stunning 31-27 victory over the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday. It was the third matchup of the season between the two teams, which ended in Seattle's favor, 2-1, with Sunday's victory. Seattle will face the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. By the way, I believe we've seen a Patriots Seahawks Super Bowl before, right, guys?
I remember seeing it, but then I remember I think it was like The Sopranos. It went dark. It went blessed. When Beast Mode didn't get the ball, I think my CV just blew up. Didn't get the ball, and they put it was like Sopranos. They were the guy went into the bathroom, and he was going to shoot Tony, and my screen went to black, guys.
That's when Wilson threw the interception.
I was like, what happened?
The Butler did it, Steve.
Yeah, the Butler got intercepted.
Still upset about Beast Mode not getting the ball.
New England was shocked that Beast Mode didn't run that football.
Well,
guys,
what I've always said about that game too, I also didn't understand the pass pattern. I've seen a lot of touchdowns thrown, inside the 5. They're usually like a fade or a jump ball. There usually aren't these throws into the congested part of the field, so that whole route concept pass pattern was way off. Aside from the obvious of giving Beast Mode the ball, that to me was a way off pass.
Yeah, this isn't the issue. Yes, you should have went Beast Mode, but you're right. It should have been more of an out route kind of thing.
Right, or a swing pass to your running back out of the backfield, or a jump ball or a fade or something like that. Yeah,
you're throwing it with 5 dudes right there. Good. Yeah, how's that working out for you? So Anyways, go ahead, continue, Dave.
Yeah, the big game is going to be hosted at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, home of the 49ers. Again, kickoff will be scheduled February 8th at 3:30. We'll have a preview of that one in our future. The Seahawks were led by Sam Darnold, by the way, in this one, guys. He had 346 yards passing with 3 touchdowns, and most important, 0 turnovers. Brent talked about that in our preview. After turning the ball over 6 times against the Rams during the regular season, he had 0 turnovers on Sunday night. This game can be named Darnold's Day. The Minnesota Vikings didn't bring him back after he led them to a 14-3 season, but flopped in the playoffs. This is an incredible accomplishment for a quarterback on his 5th different team. Brett and Steve, no more fraud island. Thoughts on Sam Darnold, Brent? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm very impressed. You know, you look back at it, and the Minnesota Vikings are really upset right now. They had this guy in their grasp, and they let him go. And I even told Steve I thought that was the right move because I like help me out, Steve. Who's the rookie quarterback we like for the Vikings?
AJ McCarthy.
McCarthy, yeah. I was okay with it. I was shocked because I thought Darnold was just a failure. No, I am shocked. He does look composed. He's learned his lessons, and boy, he's a fighter. And boy, he's on the right team with Seattle. I'm so impressed by Sam Darnold.
Steve, you have a thought?
Guys, I'm impressed with them too. No interceptions. I mean, I think Brent was even shocked. I think Brent was waiting to say something, but he couldn't because he didn't throw one. Yeah, unbelievable. I think Clint Kubiak's a great offensive coordinator. That team is clicking just like the Patriots are in the AFC and the NFC. Seahawks are really clicking. That defense is amazing. Sam Darnold is learning, guys. He's learning from his past. He couldn't perform well back in the Jets days. I think he learned a lot in his 49ers days behind Kyle Shanahan, backup quarterback, watching the game play out. In his time in Minnesota, we know what he did. Yeah, he stunk it up the joint, when it mattered, winning all those regular season games. He's learned from his lesson. This is a man that has moved on, and he's learning.
I got to make this comment because this was brought up today with Adam the Bull.
Sure.
Adam the Bull said something today that really I don't agree with. He said, well, you got to blame the players like Lamar. He's not performing. You can't blame Monken or whatever. I'm thinking, I don't agree. I think the coach has a lot more than any other sport. Coaching is key to get your quarterback in play. So take a case in point, Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
He had what's the guy? You said the Niners coach, Shanahan.
And how about this, guys? Mike McDonald is a defensive-minded coach, so he's kind of thinking defense first. So I think there's a little less pressure on Darnold. Just play your game. You got a young Clint Kubiak. Let's play your game, and he's succeeding, guys. He's learned how to be a winner.
Before I get back to my game rundown here, just to amplify your point, Brent, he did go to the Jets, which is a wasteland for quarterbacks. And then on top of that, he got with me and a coach that me and Steve really like, which is Kevin O'Connell with the Vikings. And then he gets with Steve is dead on about Clint Kubiak. He is the next, Ben Johnson, Joe Brady, offensive-minded younger guy that's going to get a head coaching job in this league. I have to say that. So
my point is coaching matters. It really does. I mean, you can get off to a real bad start in this league if you don't get hooked up with the right coach. And that's what I see. And I'm glad for Darnold for succeeding because he deserves it. From what I understand, he's been working really hard on his game for a few years now. In the offseason, he's been working on his games. I mean,
Yeah, Brent, coaching does matter. When he was with the Jets or when he was with Carolina, those were his worst times. Because not the right coaches, bad teams. Yeah, he's really learned his lesson, guys. He's doing well.
Yeah, I just want to get into this one because this one was exciting. Let me get into the rundown. The Seattle defense, well, actually, I should say Darnold and the Seahawks got off to a quick start. The Seattle defense got a quick 3-and-out against the Rams on their first possession. On Seattle's first possession, I should say, Darnold threw a perfectly placed 51-yard pass to speedy receiver Rashid Shaheed. This set up a Kenneth Walker rushing touchdown. his fourth of the playoffs, a 7-0 Seattle lead. The Rams answered back on the next drive, quickly moving down the field, to set up a Harrison Nevis 44-yard field goal. This was set up by a 44-yard pass to Puka that took the ball to the Seattle 30-yard line. Seattle would drive the field on the next possession, which ended with a 27-yard Jason Myers field goal to make it 10-3. The Rams would go on another scoring drive. This ended up with a 50-yard Nevis field goal to make it 10-6. The Rams would take the lead for the first time when Stafford found a wide-open Kyron Williams for a 9-yard touchdown. This would make it 13-10 with less than 2 minutes left in the half. The Seahawks forced a key 3-and-out with 54 seconds left in the half. Darnold led the Seahawks down the field and sent them into the half with a 17-13 lead, capping off their drive with a 14-yard touchdown pass to Jackson Smith-Njigba. I'm going to get into him a little bit later. He was great today in this game. The Seahawks received the ball to begin the second half. The Rams were able to force a punt. Xavier Smith, however, muffed the punt while falling backwards. Seattle recovered the ball at the Los Angeles 17-yard line. They scored on their next play a touchdown pass from Darnold to Jake Bobo, a former UCLA Bruin who signed with Seattle in 2023. This made it 24-13. The Rams have had special teams issues the entire year. This one really cost them. Stafford quickly led the Rams down the field and tossed a 2-yard TD pass to Devontae Adams to bring them within one score. Adams caught a key 29-yard pass on the drive. We talked about him in the preview, about his ability to, catch some key balls in this. And, could he step up in this one? And he did. Seattle again answered, capping off a scoring drive with a 13-yard touchdown pass to former Ram and Super Bowl MVP Cooper Kupp, giving him a 31-20 lead. This was after the Rams cut it to 24-20. Kupp caught a big, 12-yard pass on 3rd and 9 to keep the drive going. By the way, Seattle converted some big third downs in this one, guys. One of the biggest moments of this game was on the next drive. A defensive stop from Seattle was nullified by an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty by defensive back Reek Woolen, which gave Los Angeles second life and a first down. Next play was a nice 35-yard touchdown catch by Nakua as he was falling out of bounds and cut the lead to 31-27 Seattle. This one is cooking, gents. The Rams stopped the Seahawks on their next drive, gaining possession at their own 10-yard line. Matthew Stafford, who drove the Rams into position to take the lead with 4:59 remaining, he converted a key 4th and 1 on the drive with a 3-yard run to take the ball to the Seattle 26-yard line. On 4th and 4 at the Seattle 6, Coach Sean McVay elected to go for it, and Stafford's pass was broken up in the end zone by Devin Witherspoon. It's tough. This ended a 14-play, 84-yard drive. Someone here thought they should have kicked the field goal, right, Brent?
Yeah, I guess so. But anyways, yeah, well said, Dave.
Well, I mean, I just want to get your reaction to that. Do you still stand by that? Should they have kicked the field goal before I get to a few closing thoughts here? Or do you think that it was right to go for it in that situation?
Well, Dave, I thought about it.
Right.
I understand at the time I said kick the field goal. I did. I said that. But after more thought, boy, the way the defense was playing, maybe Dave Greenshield was right, because they weren't able, and also even I witnessed it. They weren't stopping the Seahawks. So
Right.
you kind of had to go for it because you didn't know if you were going to be able to stop them. Now, if the defense is playing well, then my point is probably correct. That's how I'm looking at it. Am I wrong, Dave?
No, I think you're right. Now I'm going to get into this with the way Seattle finished. With their backs against the end zone and the ball at their 6-yard line, Seattle drove the field methodically. They had a key 3rd and 8 to Kupp, who made another big catch on a successful slant and a first down. Seattle did punt the ball with just 25 seconds left in the game, so they killed over 4 minutes and 30-some seconds of the clock, giving Los Angeles one final chance to earn the win. They fell just short as Nakua failed to get out of bounds at the Seattle 49-yard line as time expired. Just want to get to some final numbers. By the way, that went in a great one, 31-27 final. Final numbers here. Stafford threw for 374 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was brilliant. He went throw for throw with Darnold. Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua, 5 catches for 109 yards and a touchdown. What a day for Jackson Smith and Jigba, who led the NFL in receiving yards. He finished the game with a touchdown on 10 catches for 153 yards. He's impossible to cover in this one. Credit offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak, as Steve pointed out earlier. He did an excellent job of moving him around all over the field and putting him in position to make plays. Guys, this was everything I hoped for, except for the score, as I picked the Rams. Just in conclusion, this was a heartbreaker for the Rams. I really felt this was the only team capable of going into Seattle and getting a W. They had the right quarterback, the right offensive weapons, and the right coach. In the end, just a few things did them in: special teams and a questionable secondary. They gave up too many chunk plays. And obviously, you got to give credit to Sam Darnold. It'll be interesting to see if the Rams have another run in them in 2026. It'll be interesting to see the future of Matthew Stafford, the 37-year-old finalist for his first MVP award. If they keep Stafford, and much of this roster is possible, maybe make a few moves on defense, another run is likely. Just want to close in a couple comments on the NFC champion Seahawks. This is a team that has been getting better as the season's moved along. The defense has been consistent all year. They have strengthened the running game with Walker. He was big in this one, running and catching. They have one of the best receivers in the game in JSN. This was a showcase for his skill set. And what can you say about Darnold? He made believers out of a lot of people, including the 3 guys doing this podcast, by the way. He did everything we talked about in the preview. Key third down throws, red zone, and most importantly, he took care of the ball. This is his best game and the biggest game of his career. By the way, guys, it'll be interesting to see if Darnold and Seattle can carry this momentum into the Super Bowl. Brent, give me Seattle and New England, part 2.
Yeah. Well said, Dave. All right, we will get into our final segment. That is the bold prediction review. Dave, how did we do on our bold prediction?
In a word, terrible, Brent. I went out on a limb on my bold P, and the limb broke. I had Pat's wide receiver Kayshon Boutte going for over 100 yards against the Broncos. I should have known better that this was going to be a defensive slugfest. I thought he might build on his 75 yards receiving against the Texans in the divisional round. Not so much. 1 catch for just 6 yards. This was a game in which Drake May only threw for 86 yards passing. Wouldn't you know, by the way, I mentioned this to Steve in our text chain. My pick of JSN going over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown against the 49ers. How did that work out, guys? I was 1 week late, by the way. You believe that? My luck. Brent, I'm just getting tired of these bold predictions. I've got only one more to make.
Yeah. Yeah, we need a breather on these bold predictions. They're tough. Well, unless you like Retzer. Retzer takes like, hey, by the way, the Patriots are going to beat Denver. That's a bold prediction or something like that. That's a Retzer new. You know what he does? Hey, I didn't win a few, to be fair. Yes, he does do that. No, Retzer will take. The guy's got a pulse. That's a bold prediction. I'm not kidding you. He will do that. Anyways, Steve, how's your day going? Anyway, all right, buddy, get us into your bold prediction.
Well, guys, I gotta say this. I probably should have took Seattle. It would have been better for the cast, but we all took the Rams in this one, guys. And just because I just thought they're underdogs, they're gonna find a way to do it, and they didn't. My bold prediction was that Matthew Stafford would throw 3 touchdown passes and lead the Rams to a win over the Seahawks. He actually played a really good game in a loss. In a sense, he exploited the Seattle defense at times. He did get his 3 touchdown passes, guys.
Yes.
His best players on his roster caught touchdown passes. Puka Nacua caught one, Devontae Adams, and his star running back, Kareem Williams. So I thought I would have chose the Rams as an underdog, but, Seattle was just too tough. It was a close game. I do think, by the way, that Matthew Stafford is back next year, and Sean McVay, I think, knows so as well.
Yeah.
I didn't get my bold P, guys, but it was close. He did have his 3 touchdown passes.
All right. Well said, guys. We will get into some final thoughts. Dave, give us some final thoughts.
Well, just a couple of really exciting football games this past weekend. I enjoyed watching them both. I know there wasn't a lot of points in the Denver-New England game, but, it came right down to the end and did involve some key decisions, as we talked about earlier. And, Seattle versus the Rams was everything I expected except for the final score. I think when we come to rank games of the year, I think that one's going to be near the top of the list, by the way, Brent. And I guess we only have a few more casts to go. We've got a Super Bowl. I know we're going to get into the Browns this weekend. We're going to talk about, them moving forward and coaching and the roster and all of that. So, and kind of off-season needs and maybe some moves they might make. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course, looking to forward to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. Big Super Bowl coming up. And I'm looking forward to that as well. Steve, what do you got here for some final thoughts?
Well, guys, I thought they were great championship games to watch. In the AFC, you knew that game, regardless of snow, was going to be a low-scoring game. And then in the NFC, you knew that was going to be a battle and a slugfest. I mean, tons of points scored in that one. You kind of seen it coming. I'm real excited for this New England and Seattle Super Bowl, guys. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited, guys. It's that time of the year. It went quick, didn't it, guys? Super Bowl coming up soon.
All right. Well said, guys. Have a good one. Take care.